Trump is out west raking in the dough as he hits up big pocketed donors in California. Just last night, get this, he raised $12 million in San Francisco.
Now he's moving on down to Beverly Hills and Orange County. Needless to say, he's getting under the skin of some Golden State Democrats.
We cannot allow that convicted felon in the Oval Office because there will be no restraint on him by any of his own party in that kind of a racketeering administration or in Congress. I think when Donald Trump leaves the stage for good, and I hope and pray it's in November, I think the Republican Party decides to move on. There will be others who try to be Trump imitators for some time, but I don't think they'll have his gift at grift. He is a uniquely talented arsonist.
Not too sure about that gift at grift, but he definitely has the gift of gab.
I call him Watermelon Head. He's got the thinnest neck I've ever seen, how it holds up that head. He's got a neck that's about a size 6. Very unattractive guy, both inside and outside. And people say, oh, that's such a terrible thing to say. That's okay.
Spoken like a man who won't be shaken by the haters. Earlier tonight, David Sacks, one of the hosts of that San Francisco fundraiser, spoke out on his support for 45.
As it turns out, hundreds of people turned out in the streets, but they were pro-Trump. Even with the protesters, there was a tremendous enthusiasm gap. If that's in liberal San Francisco, what does that tell you about the rest of the country?
Joining us now, Fox News contributor and SiriusXM Patriot host David Webb, along with Fox News contributor Sara Carter and PragerU personality Xaviaer DuRousseau. Great to see all of you. David Webb, to you first. I think Schiff looks more like a pumpkin head with a pencil neck, just my read on it. But David, what, and I'm going to steal this from Greg Gutfeld, but what this does is to have David Sacks out speaking so pointedly and clearly and raising money for President Trump, it lets other people do the same thing and step up and kind of come out of their homes in left-wing California and say, yep, it's Trump time.
Yeah, because there are still people in California that actually want a nation going forward, not a California nation going forward. And by the way, you can pick your favorite squash or your favorite fruit for Adam Schiff, but the number one thing he is a skilled liar who still backs up a debunked lie and more lies like the Hunter Biden laptop when the FBI has to admit that they lied and those 51 so-called intelligence officials also lied. So let's put that off on the table for all of them to see. But when it comes to Donald Trump, what he isn't is what the left wants and needs. And he's not someone who's going to lay down. Now, look, someone may have a style difference. They may not like mean tweets. They might not like the name calling. But do you like the policies? Do you like inflation that's at low rates? Do you like gas prices that are low? Do you like a better foreign policy stance and foreign policy doctrine? Do you like a border that is not going to let in over 13 million people under Biden versus a couple of million under Trump? And we got a lot of work to do there. Do you want a nation and a world that respects your position and someone who says, hey, NATO, pay your fair share? There's so much more Trump does that benefits the American people rather than benefiting himself the way the Biden crime family has.
So, Sarah, I want to go to this because you'll recall that Joe Biden did a fundraiser at Radio City Music Hall. He had Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, a lot of stars. Obama were there, and he raised $26 million. But Donald Trump goes out to California, to San Francisco, also liberal territory, and by himself raises $12 million. I mean, I think you look at the star-studded nature of the Democrat Party in liberal New York City and how much they raise, and compare that to Trump by himself in liberal San Francisco. I think this speaks volumes about where the money race is going and where this campaign is going.
Sean, yeah, absolutely. And on a serious note, I think the American people see what peril we are in under President Joe Biden. And if we're going to look at what Adam Schiff is saying, I mean, I think that the Democrats really are terrified. It's not just Adam Schiff. Look, Andy McCabe came out. He was the #2 at the FBI that was fired for lying. Adam Schiff lied consistently. He lied so much so that even in his memo that he released after the famous Devin Nunes memo, which was proven true, the Inspector General came out and said, you lied throughout the memo. But remember, it was the media that was willing to push these lies forward to the American people. President Trump isn't going to let Adam Schiff or anyone else shake him. And I think Dagan was right. That's why he said what he said. He's like, look, hashtag truth pencil neck. I'm in agreement with Dagan that it's more like Pumpkinhead, because he is the biggest liar in Washington, D.C. He has lied with impunity, and so have others. So I think that watching President Trump, especially in San Francisco, I was there recently. I was in San Francisco. I was in Oakland. I was in L.A. It is falling apart. The state is falling apart under Gavin Newsom, under these Democratic policies. And we can see that across the country in many of our urban cities.
Right.
And I think you're going to see more and more money roll in. Come November, I think, the biggest fundraising, marketing person for President Trump will actually be President Biden. I think his policies will cause people to give more and more money, and it's going to be a blowout in November.
In that David Sacks interview with Larry Kudlow, that was the first thing he mentioned was the comparison of President Trump speaking for 4 hours straight at this fundraiser,
right.
And we're all holding our breath watching President Biden, hoping he doesn't fall overseas on the world stage representing the United States of America. I want to bring, Xavier, I want to bring this in to the mix as well. MSNBC host Nicole Wallace, a former Republican, she says, puzzled about Trump supporters and what to do with them.
We have to bring those people back into the social contract with us.
But how do you fix them? I mean, I don't recommend that we hate those people, but how do you help people that must hate themselves?
Xavier, that was Anthony Scaramucci, who worked in the Trump administration for like a sneeze, and now he gets on TV by bashing President Trump. But you combine the fundraising, people willfully supporting President Trump outwardly and speaking up for him, and then this nonsense, this again helps him.
You know, it must take a lot of nerve, courage, and audacity to say that right-leaning people need to be fixed, considering the left side, they're out here basically castrating children and all volunteering to be Fauci's lab rats. But, when these people tell you who they are, you have to listen. Because when she's saying that right-leaning people need to be fixed, what she really means is that we all need to be easier to manipulate, we need to be easier to brainwash, and we need to be delusional in the same way that they are. I mean, just look at our border. It is wide open. In cities like San Diego, you have 78% of illegal immigrants who have been captured since October 1st being released into the United States. There's a reason that our country is getting more and more ghetto. And I can tell you this very straightforward as someone living in Los Angeles, being in Gavin Newsom's California and Joe Biden's America is a hot mess. I would sell my kidney on the black market just to raise enough money to get those two people out of office. And it is not surprising to me whatsoever that California is turning up large for Trump and putting that money towards his campaign.
No doubt about that. Xavier, David, Sarah, thanks for being with us. We're always grateful.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Quickly, Kellyanne Conway noted that in the more ethnically diverse states, President Trump is busting through 50%.
It's shocking. Breaking all norms.
Yep.
All right. Just when you thought the Trump hush money trial was in the rearview mirror, well, at least the appeals process, right? Well, let's think again.
New tonight, Judge Merchan sent a letter to both parties, so President Trump's legal team, along with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, about a questionable social media post.
It's a now deleted comment on the Unified Court System's Facebook page posted one day before the verdict, not the day after, the day before, that read, quote, "My cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. Thanks to thank you folks for all your hard work." So we don't know all the details about this. We don't know who this individual who posted it. Do they really have a relationship with a juror? An investigation with Trump team is going to happen. The court says they're going to investigate. A hearing is now going to be scheduled. But we're going to find out, is this real and what impact did this have on the conviction of Donald Trump?
It's still, that the whole trial was so sleazy and questionable. I'm self-editing. That it's going to take time to figure it out. As you pointed out, the Trump campaign official, one official told Fox News Digital, we are investigating the matter. But because it was deleted, you have to go through Facebook and Meta to figure out who posted it, when, the origins of it. Yeah, good luck. They're so cooperative, that Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to President Trump and helping his campaign.
Mark Zuckerberg, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And, the laptop, remember?
We're gonna keep
censorship.
We're going to keep following that story.